Hello everybody, Stringfellow here. Gonna be playing some more jungle, this time with Bastet, the kitty cat of joy. She was mainstream first pick and ban up until a nerf where her 1, which is her leap, no longer had CC immunity. But I still don't understand why she fell out of the meta, because someone actually has to have fast enough reaction time to apply that CC to her in order to make her less effective. It doesn't negate the damage from her bleed, which is her 2, nor her detonate, which is her 3. And her cats are very, very good for team fights. They're incredibly good for team fights. All of her abilities, except the 1, are ranged, low risk. In fact, with the 1, she can jump in, drop, say the 2 or the 3 or the 4, and then jump back out. So she's a very low risk, starter god if you're going to be going for jungle, because you don't have to get up close and personal. You don't have to get up in their face and risk that CC except on the 1. So she's incredibly squish, but a lot of assassins are. So I've got 2 health pots because her sustain early is awful. She takes more damage. I think maybe she has less protections, but she's less effective and clear early. I mean, look at her health after just fighting this red buff. It's low. I mean, that's probably a quarter lower maybe than some of the competition. So I'm going to pop a health pot. The 2's back up. It only has a 15-second cooldown without any CDR. Now, I normally like to go CDR on most of my junglers, but the elimination of pen items, I used to get focused Void Shield a lot, but they don't even offer that anymore. So I'm learning that I have to go pen boots in order to, get the job done. I used to go CDR boots and then get focused Void Stone on a mage or focused Void Shield on a physical right away. But that item's not there, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to go full CDR. On Thanatos, absolutely. But, let's see. Well, with this new item, Ancili, I think it's called, or Ancil. Now I'm following the standard jungle route. Normally, the mid camps would be looked at immediately into the game. But, given this scenario, I just follow the standard route. I go from the red to the small camp, to the small camp, to the mid camp, to the mid camp, and then, I can look at dropping some blues. But the way this works in reality would be on this side of the map, and I think the meta has shifted slightly. The mid and the solo hit the mid camp right away. I hit the red and I solo it. When I solo the red and they're doing the mid camp, the mid player, when they're finished, goes back into the mid lane. And then the solo comes over here to the blue, and the solo and I hit the blue, give it to them, hopefully, and not get invaded. And then we head to lane with the intention of farming, getting me up to about level 3 or 4, sharing experience, and then I head back into the jungle and get some work done. Let's see if I don't die here. I got 3. I may have missed the 2 because of his leap. Yeah, I missed the bleed because of his leap, I think so. Alright, I've got 1,000 gold. I'm going to go back and get boots 2, which will give me 10 physical power, 6 attack speed, and 12 movement speed. Movement speed for a jungler is absolutely critical. I may fart around with other buffs in this mode, but I'm almost always going to go for the speed buff whenever possible, if it's up. And if you're going to counter jungle, you're going to want to go for their speed buff first, and then their red buff second. Now, sometimes you can counter jungle to their blue really easily with the solo laner in particular. Or, you can also do it with the with a duo, but it's a little more difficult because there's two of them to keep watch on it. But you've got to watch how much their jungler is paying attention. If their jungler is not paying attention at all, you can raid the jungle. The blue buffs are easy enough. You can raid that jungle. Well, she's booking. I don't know if she'll turn around. Yes, she will. So, drop the cats, hit the bleed, get the hell out of dodge. I don't know if they'll kill her. No, dagnabbit, I was close. Now, Ao Kuang rotated over, which I think may have been a mistake given the fact that you have... Oh, but their guy rotated over, so it doesn't matter. It all worked out. In fact, it may have worked out better because I got a kill on the mana. Look at my horse. My horse is amazing. Now, I put myself in a very bad position because I went after that when I shouldn't have, and I took too much damage and lost a ton of mana. Now, I have a weakness. I like to get Transcendence because I just spam my abilities like an immature child. But most junglers don't. But I do. So I get Transcendence, and it has a side benefit of being the single most powerful physical item in the game. So it's not like I'm buying a piece of garbage. It's just I'm buying an expensive, not a crutch really, but I'm buying an expensive tool to help support my bad habits. But it just, like I said, it just so happens that it provides a lot. So if you can afford it, go ahead and get it if it works for your build. But you don't want to hurt your team. If you're behind, you don't want to wait on damage until you get that thing stacked. You maybe want to go to Executioner very quickly, or you maybe want to go to, not Titan's Bane, what was I thinking? Jotun's Wrath. Alright, I'm going to drop the cats, and hopefully, there we go. There's the hit, there's the bleed. And Ymir's nowhere to be found, so we got that very well. That worked out incredibly well. That's how I should have, but look at my mana again. Now, given that, I'm just going to steal the mana buff, because it's situational in this against the robot. Nobody's going to miss it. Normally, I'd almost never steal somebody's blue, unless it's the enemy. If I go into there and counter jungle, maybe I'll take the blue, depending on what my solo laner or duo laner wants to do. Now, you can see already my health is okay, but without that mana buff, I'd be screwed in terms of having abilities up. Okay, so I'm going to go Transcendent, second item. And since there's an Ao Kuang, I'm going to get Ancili. Or Ancil. God, I don't know how to pronounce that stuff. Frickin' if it ain't English, I'm screwed. Okay, so I'm just going to boogie over here. Get this taken care of. Drop the other blue buff. I got to get in the habit of doing that, even in practice mode, because it's a sloppy thing not to do. And if somebody happens to watch these and say, well, you don't have to get the blue, then I have done a disservice. Now, part of the reason I make these instead of making regular play videos is I don't really enjoy casual conquest. I've played about a little over 1,000 games or whatever, and I don't really enjoy it anymore. I went through a period where I played about 900 conquest straight, and then 900 arena straight, and then I went back and finished conquest and arena until I mastered, say, 52 gods and had 500 wins in each, and then I just stopped because I like that even number of 500. And there's still 4 gods I don't really want to screw around with. Although the new WoW I might give a look at. Because I hated the old new WoW. I just absolutely... Now this is going to be a waste of an ult here, but I'm going to do it anyway for the CC. And hope I can attack. Because Ymir is too far advanced and died. So there we go. Team kill. Good objective. Although right lane is dead. Now see, I took a risk there until our guy killed Ymir. And at that point it was just fine to go ahead and try to throw everything at Artemis. I didn't have to worry about being freezed and CC'd and then trapped and bored. Because Artemis can be an absolute unadulterated badass when they want to be. So Artemis is pretty incredible. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and skip Boots 3, and I'm going to get this here. because Transcendence is expensive, and I happen to have enough for level 2 Transcendence, which gives you 20 physical power, but I did it for the mana and the 4 MP5, so it's kind of a wasteful way to go, I suppose. But I like the item, and if you don't mind, like I said, if you're ahead and you don't mind delaying the damage a bit, if you have a team with high damage, like here we have an Anubis, we have an On Her, that's pretty hardcore stuff. So I think, you know, if I have a good team and they're pretty functional and capable. I just saved my guy. Oh, you're a dead man. There you go. That was opportunistic. That was a very opportunistic gank. Alright, I'm not going to do that one because of Hun bots. Now let me show you how this leap works. Okay, here's the leap. I leap here, and then I can run far away. And then I can hit one back, and look how far I can leap back. That is impressive. Now, if you know how to use that properly, which I don't really. Now, see, he did it again. He jumped, and I missed my bleed like a dweeb. But if you know how to pull that off effectively, it's an incredible tool for team fights. Just drop in and get work done and get the hell out. It's really pretty impressive. Is the bleed enough to get him? Is the bleed enough to get him? Yes, it is. Darn it, Guan came back. I wanted to get that tower. Well, that was not smart. Diving right in like that into his face without any defense. So I'm going to try to poke him, though, anyway. Gotcha, punk. Okay. But I don't have enough health to take on that tower. So that bleed, see how powerful that is? That's why you want to max it out early. That bleed is important. That bleed is really, really important. Okay, now I'm going to finish this item, and then I can start stacking. And I'm going to start... Yeah, I think I'll start that instead of Ensealy. Because normally I would start Ensealy because they have Ao Kuang, and he does damage over time, but he's not doing anything. We're up 12-2, and he's just not doing anything. So his bot code is not aggressive. I had assumed it would be, because normally he'll just start dropping those tornadoes. Kind of pisses me off they're getting rid of Ao Kuang in the game. I love that god, so it pisses me off. I don't like it. I think there's nothing wrong with him except people say he's easy to play. Well, big deal. So he's easy to play. So Fenrir's easy to play, you know? Don't get rid of Fenrir. I just don't understand. But still, you know, they're getting rid of my favorite god, and I'm just going to have to adjust. But the jungler, though, here, my goal now is to stack those things. Drop those buffs, gank lanes. I have my cats up to level 3 now. I have a good amount of power coming up soon. So I'm going to go for this lane again because it's down a tower. And you can see those two are being very aggressive, and my cats are up. So I'm going to go ahead and look for some kills here. Or a kill, at least. I think the Hunbats went back into the jungle. Alright, I wasted my my bleed on that particular item. Not item, opportunity. I wasted my bleed completely on that. That was silly. I should have just waited a second to see if the cats got the job done. Okay, now I'm putting forth. You can see just as I get more stacks, my power level goes up. It's not about my 14, 15, 16 leveling. It's about getting more stacks. The more stacks you get, the more power you get. And the more mana you get, so. Now, I am kind of missing some CDR, but Jotuns will fix that no problem. Alright, I'm going to bleed on him. He did it again. It's just like, it's so strange. It's like they can absolutely tell when I'm about to do that. It's just so bizarre. Alright, I'm out of this. This lane is just hyper aggressive, and it's hard to get anywhere in that lane because they are just going ham. Okay, I'm going to drop the red. Now, I'm being sloppy with the blue buffs again, but oftentimes a duo lane can do their own blue. It's the solo one you really want to help, because they can't, if they leave lane to get the blue, they risk either A, losing experience in the lane, or B, getting invaded. And that's just not something you want to allow your guy to do. See, they nailed it again. Right lane is toast. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm Bastet. I can't defend against these warriors like crazy. Well, at least we're pressuring left. Alright, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to finish Jotun's, which will give me 11 pen, and here this will only give me 15 pen, so it's not a bad trade to go ahead and finish Jotun's first so that I can get the CDR instead of finishing Boots 3. And because I have a leap, I don't really need that super increase in speed from 12 to 18 immediately. I don't really need it right now. And if I go for the speed buff, I won't need it right away either. I just want to get this right tower. The pressure in this lane is so hardcore. I really would like to get that taken care of. But I've already got 40 stacks on my Transcendence, so I just need 50. And once I get 50, it'll be maxed out. But you can already see now, I don't need mana buff. I'm kicking butt and taking names, and I'm spamming my abilities. So it's worth the risk to me because I just love to spam abilities. I feel like I'm being more effective if I just spam my abilities. Jump into team fights, drop abilities, hit the bleed, hit the detonate. I don't use the jump nearly as effectively as I should. Alright, I'm going to drop... Well, he's going to ult. I'm going to wait and drop my cats till after this bot ults. Now I'm going to drop my cats, and I'm going to bleed him, and I think I may have gotten him. Yep. Well, he got him. That's fine. That's fine. I'm of the school, there's no such thing as a kill steal. It's all about the kill secure. Hunbats is a tough mother, so... I'm going to get aggro by doing that, but then I'm going to back out. Oh, that was a bad timing. I got him. He's either dead or close to it. So. Close to it. Man, if I had my boots finished, he probably would have died. I'd overextended myself there. I'm going to go back, and I'm just going to head right into the jungle, farm a little bit more to finish those boots, which is 1150. 1090 if I wanted to go CDR, but I'm not going to go CDR. Even without Unseelie, I think my cats not being up every minute of the day is not a problem. Because that's the only lane they're being aggressive in, really. And actually, it's just Hunbots and Guan being aggressive in this game, as far as the bot coding goes. I wish I could talk to the programmers and figure out what the hell they were thinking. Why is it so unbelievably inconsistent? Some of them push, some of them don't, and they don't make very good decisions even if they do push. I'm going to jump in, drop the cats, hit the... Oh, he ulted out of the cats. I should have thought of that. That stun is pretty nasty. I'm going for it anyway, though. There you go. Now I'm big enough so that Ao Kuang's little tornado didn't do that much damage. He's only 11. Sometimes I'll be playing with these bots and Hebo will get like level 18 before anybody does anything. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable how the bots are so inconsistent. Okay, there you go. Alright, so I'm fully stacked. I have 149 physical power, which is quite a lot. But when I finish my build, it's going to... Well, I'm going to go crit, so it's not going to be about raw power. It's going to be about crit. Okay, I'm not even going to go attack speed on this build. I'm just going to go ahead and go straight into crit. And then I'll get Rage and Deathbringer, and then I'll see what needs to be done. I don't seem to be needing much protection. So, in this particular instance, the bots are just dominating the crap out of the other team. So, that's a positive. But what I'm trying to convey with these is not awesome gameplay. It's little tips here and there. Things that I can get done. Not little tips, but, you know, yeah, I guess little tips. Kind of examples, perhaps, of how to use some of the abilities that that god provides. Every god is different. And sometimes by availing yourselves of certain abilities, you can take advantage of their passive. There you go. Unless he ults out of him, he's dead. Okay. I did all my abilities. But they're not... Damn it. Just when I was going to hit my 3. They're still dead. So I guess their reaction time is ungodly fast. And somehow they seem to know what I'm about to press. It's bizarre. It's like the code interrupts or intercepts the keystroke and instantly reacts to it. Because I throw my bleed and they jump, or I'll throw my 3 and they'll dodge. So humans just ain't that fast. Alright, so, but this is kind of how I like to use the abilities. I like to do the distance and hit the road so that I can get in and get out like a true assassin would. I don't have any lifesteal, and that's why my health is what it is. So I may go ahead and get a lifesteal item. But I'm going to go rage first. If my team is substantially stronger than the other team, I may not go lifesteal. I may just go ahead and go back, get full health, maybe get a couple pots, and then join the fight again. But if they're behind, I'm going to get a lifesteal item so I can stay in the fight all the time. Okay, I'm going to go up and get this mid camp. The other one should come up by that time. Yep, there it is. Just came up. Now, I usually like to initiate with my bleed and hit with my 3. But sometimes I do the reverse. Okay, now Ao Kuang's starting to do some work. At 2, 6, and 2. Oh, this country. Yeah, I don't miss playing regular Conquest very much. I'm too intimidated to play ranked. The BM I see on streams is so severe. I can hardly believe people get away with doing what they do and not get their accounts banned permanently. I saw a thread about it on Reddit, and I'm like, I totally understand and agree. These guys do crap that I just can't believe the stuff they say to each other. It's just awful. And I really don't want to, have to deal with that kind of level of BM. I mean, it's not like just because they say go kill yourself, I'm actually going to do it. But it's just disheartening to hear. I don't want to hear that crap. I don't have to deal with that garbage. Alright, cats you go. I don't think I'm going to be able to get him. That leap wasn't... Ooh, I wish that had a bleed. That would have been sweet. Alright, I'm just going to go back. Finish my rage. Now, if... excuse me. With the exception of Hunbats, most people have said if you're going to get one crit item, get Rage instead of Deathbringer. Even though Deathbringer gives you more raw power, the chance of crit is better with Rage than it is with Deathbringer alone. So I've been trying to do that, and it seems to be working pretty well just to get the Rage. And if I had to buy a defensive item or two, having only Rage instead of Deathbringer and Rage is still just fine. It's a nice crit. It's really actually pretty darn good, effective. Even without the 15% attack speed that it used to have. And that, I guess it did make it overpowered, but I don't care. It was awesome. It was a hell of a lot of fun that way. Alright, now I'm going to go after Artemis instead of Ymir because the ADC does more damage. And if I'm going to hit the cats on one of the two, the target I'm going to go for is the one that is the damage dealer. Plus, they should be easier to kill because they don't often get defensive items. Ymir is going to be a tank, of course, so he'll get defensive items at the wazoo. But as you can see, Transcendence is really paying dividends now. I have 200 physical power, and I can spam my abilities all day without going back to base, which means I'm incredibly effective in a team fight situation. Now, I'm going to lose right tower, but we're going to take this tower, so it's a trade. Tier 2 for Tier 2. Now, I've got 2 guys on my side. I think we may push to Phoenix. We have enough minions to make that happen, too. And again, because I have Transcendence, I have all my abilities cranking like a mofo. So, I don't have to go back or anything. I can hit my bleed and I can hit my explosion and my jump and my cats. Alright, that worked out well. Now I'm going to go over here and drop the cats. Just outside the Phoenix range. There's a slow, there's the bleed, there's the cats. Alright. Alright. We're good to go. Now I only have 1500. That is enough to get me. That is enough to get me the second tier of another crit item. But I don't need it right now. It's better to push right here. I've got the tank and I've got my little buddies. We can take the second Phoenix. And sometimes these are judgment calls. But generally, even giving your life for a Phoenix is not a bad idea. Alright, I'm going to go back, try to defend the Phoenix. And as long as I'm there, I'm going to go ahead and get the second crit item. But I didn't have to go back to get it. I wanted to get that second Phoenix. Now, the more towers you have down on the enemy side, and the more Phoenixes you have down, the less effort you have to put into taking down the Titan. He's more vulnerable with less towers and Phoenixes up. They provide him with a higher level of protection and regeneration. So if you take those out, he'll be faster to kill and easier to kill. And that's really important if you're going to tower dive. I mean, if you're going to go in there and dive for the guy and hog 3 it, then you really need to be able to get those towers and Phoenixes down as much as possible. Because you can backdoor. I've seen Loki do it. I've seen Nuwa do it. You can backdoor the crap out of that stuff. And it works really, really well, primarily if you have everything down. Because the sustainability of that is very low. He'll be much easier to kill. I don't have Hog 3, but I'm the jungler. Normally I wouldn't have Hog 3, but a lot of times in real games, supports don't get Hog 3 when they should. I try to get Hog 3 at 10 minutes or earlier. It's important for objectives like Gold Fury. Alright, now, if I wanted to, I could dive in. I'm not going to. But you can see already that the fire minions are going to start to do some serious damage. And because nothing stands between the fire minions and the Titan, it's going to go down fast. Alright, 16. I'm going to go Hog 3. And I am going to sell Bum-Bum-Bum-Bum-Bums. And I am going to go ahead and finish up this item at 1650. But see how fast that Phoenix, or this Titan is going down? It's because every other objective between me and that is down. And that just, the health drops off that thing so damn fast, it's unbelievable. And it doesn't regenerate fast at all. So I've got Hog 3. If I can get in there, hit a couple of attacks, and hit Hog, it's dead. And, heck, I wish I had Sprint, because right now I feel impatient. But I'm just going to go for it. The left side Phoenix is 3/4 ready to go, so it's, but look, there's 3 of them, excuse me, all the way over on the left side, so I'll just backdoor it via the middle. There's Hunbats. I can take him out. I'm not worried about him. I can take him out. He just ulted minions, so I can definitely take him out. Oh, I missed again. I'll just take it now. Alright, here we go. I'll take a couple of these, and then I'll hog it later days. So there you go. And primarily why I keep doing these jungles, I just want to show you how different junglers' abilities can be utilized to get the job done. So that's all there is to it. So go ahead and take from this what you will, and hopefully it helps somebody out there get a handle on, hey, this is kind of how Bastet plays, and this is kind of how she can attack mid camps, and this is kind of how you might want to level her abilities depending on your playstyle. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Until next time, and I'll see you later. Bye.